Camp Attitude ministers directly to families with kids that have disabilities. It intrigued me because I'd never done anything like it before, I'd never seen anything like it before. But at the same time, I really didn't know what I was getting into, and my friend was doing it, and so I thought, if she's doing it, I'll try it. But at the same time, it was very nerve-wracking. Partially it was what I expected, but then it threw so many other curveballs into it that I was not expecting. Because I experienced feeding somebody with a feeding tube for the first time, and it was quite entertaining, but very chaotic and very stressful at the same time, because that week I was paired with a 9-year-old, I think, with cerebral palsy. So he was immobile in a chair, nonverbal, and it was my first opportunity to be with a kid with special needs that was nonverbal. So that was new for me. His mom, she wasn't super involved with his life, and she was just she was having a hard year, and so she was just kind of done, and she wanted to come to camp and hang out in her cabin the whole time and just put a divide between her and the world. So I didn't get a lot of instruction, and he's a kid that has needs that need to be met. It's not like putting your average 3-year-old in front of you and going, let's go play. She left me with him, and I was walking him around, and he had this headrest, and his head, if he had his head in the right place, it would tilt back and he would rest it against his chair, but he didn't like it, and so he would drop his neck down all the time, and I thought that was normal. I didn't know. And so I'm walking him around, and about an hour later his mom comes back out to see how we were doing, and she goes, oh my gosh, and she comes and she runs over and she lifts his head up, and he's purple, and I freaked. Going, oh my gosh, what did I do? So I had a lot of moments like that with him, but I think he was probably my favorite, or at least one of my favorite buddies, because he was so sweet, and just being able to walk around with him and talk to him, and I mean, you didn't even have to be afraid of what they'd say back. Yeah, I definitely was more aware of the physical needs of my campers after that. Do they have allergies? Do they, can they be out in the sun for so long? Can they, like, certain things? Because having a buddy that is almost helpless, you have to think about all those things, just like a baby. They can't speak to you, you have to think of all their needs. So I want to be doing this for as long as I can. some point, his mom was in her cabin, and she was, I think, taking a nap, and it was dinner time, and I had never fed him before or given him his fluids. All I was supposed to do was turn off his button when it beeped at me. It was the first time that just the sister and Andrew and I had been together for a meal without his mom, and she didn't know her brother that well, and I thought she knew how to tube feed him, but she didn't. And so we had, the poor guy, we were trying to put water down and clean his tubes and unplug and plug, and there's like fluids everywhere, and we're going, oh no, okay, and then, like, it was so funny and so stressful because I thought I was going to hurt him. We had to flush his tube out before and after he ate, so we figured out how to flush it. We fed him, and then we were trying to flush it again, and she goes, we're going to need some water, and they don't have taps everywhere at camp, and so it was just one of the big water jugs you can go and fill your cup up with. And so we went over to one of those, and I'm going, is this safe to put in him, like down his tube? She goes, oh yeah, I think so. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh. So we did it, and it was all fine in the end, but that was funny.